And welcome to the very first edition, episode, whatever you want to call it, of Inglorious Hasterts. Why, you must say, it's a play on words of Inglorious Bastards, obviously, because me, Eric Hastert, and my brother,
Brian Hastert,
we are going to be doing a podcast for you, mainly about movies. We're going to review movies, we're going to talk about movies, but we're also going to get into other things, too. It's not just going to be movies, but I'd say 75-80% movies, 20% everything else.
We'll do some video games. We'll do some TV shows. I don't watch Game of Thrones, but I know Eric does, and I'm sure we'll get into some of that stuff.
Yeah, who hasn't seen Game of Thrones? What is wrong with you? Let's just get a little started here. I'm Eric Hassert. I'm the younger brother. I went to KU for film and media. That's the University of Kansas. Got my degree there. Went on to film a little live-action hunting shows after college, and kind of just been doing my own thing ever since. Making my own little shorts, writing scripts. You know the works. What about you, bro?
I'm Brian Hastert, oldest and wisest brother. And, I started, my passion for film began when I was a kid. Our dad would rent movies every Sunday, and we'd watch them. They were good, they were bad. We've been exposed to almost everything, and I think my passion grew in middle school when I started making short films, terrible films. But now me and my brother are both wanting to get into the business. We've been writing scripts, trying to shoot some shorts, and hopefully make it someday with the other tens of millions that want to be in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've made shorts and entered film festivals before. We placed top 25, stuff like that. Nothing crazy, nothing good.
25 out of 26.
I'm proud of them, but they're not like high quality production anything because we're poor, but that's that. So a little bit about this podcast. Today we're going to review Glass, the new M. Night Shyamalan film. But before we get to that...
we're going to have a couple other segments, too.
Well, yeah,
we're going to do a couple of things. We're not just going to talk about Glass, because we know that a lot of people aren't hyped about it.
Yeah.
So we're not going to spend too much time covering it.
But when we review these movies, we're going to kind of give you our assessment of the film, if you should watch it.
This will not be a spoiler review of Glass.
Well, there will be spoiler reviews when we get into depth, but the first review we're going to do is just going to be what we thought of the movie, how it could have been better, and overall, if you should watch it or not. I'm tired of all these reviews and these scores that they give movies that people see, 20% on Rotten Tomatoes, not watching it. Well, a lot of people put a lot of hard work into these movies. Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes may have given it a bad score, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't give it a chance.
On the other side of that coin, though, bro, people have limited time in today's world. They have Netflix. They have exposure to almost anything. They can do anything with their time. They have so much to do. It takes a lot to sit down and watch a full movie now, so they want to be invested. They want to make sure that they're investing their time wisely.
I don't really think it takes that much effort. You literally turn on your Netflix and you watch a movie.
I'm saying people's attention span has gone down with cell phones, smartphones.
That's debatable. I still think that the film industry is actually doing a lot better than it was, say, 8 years ago.
I agree, but I think that's mostly due to
people are wanting to watch movies.
But there's more intelligent films. I don't want to say Glass is an intelligent film, but you have simple action movies like Marvel that's getting most of that cash, and those are fun movies. But there's other movies where you have to invest more emotionally in it.
Well, yeah, it's just harder for movies to make it nowadays because people don't want to see the original movie. They want to see the Spider-Man or the Avengers,
Marvels, or books like Harry Potter.
Yeah,
Harry Potter's awesome.
Harry Potter was a great series. But let's get into Glass a little bit. So Glass is the third installment of M. Night Shyamalan's Unbreakable series, or trilogy, if you want to call it that.
And we assume you've seen Split by now, so hopefully you realize that it is a trilogy, especially through the trailers.
Yes, Split was the second installment of this, which at the time, no one actually knew Split was going to be a part of this universe until, if you watch Split, if you haven't seen Split, spoiler alert, there's a post-credit scene where we see Bruce Willis.
Not post-credits, it's actually the end of the movie.
Well, whatever. You see Bruce Willis sitting at a bar listening to the news story of the split
And
of
I
Beast.
shit you not, guys. That was one of the greatest moments I've ever had at a theater. Me and Eric literally stood up, and my fiance at the time, his girlfriend, didn't know what was happening because they'd never seen Unbreakable. But we stood up and we like high fived each other. It was an amazing.
It
moment.
was pretty awesome. I mean, because I think any Unbreakable fan wanted to see another Unbreakable movie because it was a great movie. If you haven't seen Unbreakable, quick synopsis: Bruce Willis is the main character. He finds out he is basically a superhero. He's super strong. He can't be hurt. He never gets sick, and he's kind of just a modern day superhero.
And what separated it from like Marvel movies and stuff, it was just a regular guy with like these extra strength, superhuman, characteristics. And that's something that no one has ever told is like a down-to-earth superhero movie, and that's what separated it from the other ones.
Yeah, and another thing is like it's not an action-packed film. None of them really have been action-packed films, and especially with Unbreakable, it's more of, hey, I could be that. I can help people, and I'm an everyday person, and I think that's the message that we get across between Unbreakable and Glass, whereas Split, it's more of a psychological thriller.
And that's what I didn't like, how the direction of the series went away from David Dunn, who's Bruce Willis's character. Because it started out with him and his family and like his troubles with his wife and how his son was struggling with his dad becoming a superhero. Not struggling, he was actually all for it, but he
wanted people to believe he was a superhero.
Right. And, David Dunn didn't know how to, deal with that, I guess. But
that, and he also didn't want his wife to know what was happening. Like, he didn't want her to know what he was going out and doing.
Yeah, and I guess that's why I didn't like Split or Glass as much as Unbreakable, is because it got away from.
Well, yeah, I think in almost any trilogy or series, anything like that, the first one's usually the best or one of the best in it. And for this one, definitely Unbreakable is the best of the three.
Well, and also M. Night had this whole trilogy planned way back in the day, but obviously through a string of failures and movies, he couldn't get them made like he wanted them to. He actually funded Split and Glass with a lot of his own money.
Yeah, which M. Night Shyamalan gets a lot of flack for some of the movies he's made. I don't know. Some of them are still pretty... to me, originality trumps a lot of the stuff you see today, because you don't see a lot of original scripts. You don't see a lot of original screenplays. Most of the stuff you see is, rehashed. It's remade. It's an adaptation of something else, where most of M. Night Shyamalan's movies are pretty original.
But something you see a lot of with like art, this happens with like musicians, this happens with writers, directors. They have years and years and years to plan a vision before they do their first movie. So like when he did Sixth Sense, he rewrote that movie 6 times in years. He did.
Well, yeah, and at the end of Sixth Sense, he didn't even decide that Bruce Willis's character was dead until the last rewrite.
Yeah, until the 6th rewrite. And then you got to remember the string of movies he had, like The Happening. What was that one with Will Smith? Not Planet Earth. What was it called?
After Earth.
After Earth. Did I say The Happening? And then Avatar: Last Airbender. Those got rushed into production.
Yeah.
So like you can tell that's why they failed, is because he didn't put as much time into it as he did the other ones. And Lady in the Water, that's another one people didn't like, which I thought was okay.
I thought it was okay. It was original. It was new.
Yeah, but like Unbreakable, Sixth Sense, Signs, and I'll even put The Village in there. His first 4 were really strong.
Yeah, Village was great. And that's another thing I think that Shyamalan gets a lot of flack for is his twists. Some people don't like his twists. Well, it's like that's usually what makes a movie pretty good. Yeah. At the end, when you don't see something coming and then it takes you by surprise, that's a good moment in a movie.
Well, if we're gonna get into spoilers, I will say the ending of Glass, I think he did a twist just for the sake of a twist because that's his like forte, and I did not like the twist at the end of that movie.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and get into Glass. So 19 years later, Unbreakable was made in 2000. So this came out in it come out 2019.
And bear in mind, as soon as Split had success, he immediately started like working on this movie and rushed it into production again too. Glass.
Yeah.
Trying to pick up on the heels of the success of this movie. So.
Either way, me and Brian are a little in a disagreement on this.
We're a little split, you could say.
A good one, not. So yeah, Glass. Let's just start with a non-spoiler review. I personally thought it was a pretty good film. Um, I would have given it better than 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's for sure.
Yeah, people are pretty harsh. But you also got to remember, anything that's like, I think it's what, 3 out of 5 or lower counts as a negative review, but 3 out of 5 is pretty average.
Yeah, I mean, I would do it at a 10-point scale if I were to rate a movie.
I mean,
anyways, what were your thoughts? Why did you like it? Why didn't you like it?
I liked the beginning of it. I liked how I liked that they used the original actor, that he was his son in the original, and I liked how they teamed up, and I liked where it was going. Once it hit the therapy thing, it kind of got really slow. I found myself checking my watch quite a bit. I was like, and that's never a good sign in a movie. When you don't check the time at all in a movie, you know it's good. But in the middle, it dragged quite a bit.
This is true.
Yeah.
But I will disagree on the slow part. None of the films were action-packed.
Right, but every scene had impact. Every scene drove the story. I felt like once it hit the therapy, it kind of just dragged. Like, it wasn't going anywhere. You're like, what is the point of this? And like, when you find out what the point of it was and why the psychiatrist was doing what she was doing, you're kind of like,
we'll get to that when we get more in depth on it.
I'm not going to say what. I'm just saying.
What did you like about it, other than the beginning?
The first act was pretty much, and the third act could have been a lot better. The climax was a little insulting, I feel like, especially to David Dunn. I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm going to say what they did to his character, not only at the end, but throughout the whole movie, he was kind of in the back seat. It's like this whole thing revolved around him.
But what's the movie called?
I know,
it's called Glass.
I know.
It's not called Dunn.
He wanted each movie to focus on one of the three. That was not a smart decision.
Yes, this was Mr. Glass's movie, and we hadn't seen him since Unbreakable. We didn't see him in Split. Obviously, we got a little glimpse of David Dunn in Split, but in this one, it's primarily focusing on him because, obviously we know he's super smart, but I think this movie reflects on how smart he actually is. Like, we finally see, okay, he's a super genius. I don't know. I like the movie overall. I will say, yeah, there were some slow parts, but it does pick up. It also does make you focus on the movie, and I feel like as a viewer, it wants you to think in other ways than your classic superhero. Like, the movie the whole time is trying to convince you that they're not real superheroes, and to me that was. I mean, it was a ride in itself because at one point you kind of do think, okay, maybe they aren't actually superheroes.
But that was only for like 5 minutes, and then like immediately the next scene you find out.
No, that was at the very end. It was towards the end when they finally did that. Anyways, before we get to in depth, what would you give it out of 10?
Before I give my rating, I do want to say one more good thing was the acting. Bruce Willis has had a terrible drought of movies, straight to DVD, I guess you would say, straight to Netflix movies.
Was it Red and Red 2?
No, those were actually his better ones. There's some that are like not even, that I can't even name because they were so bad.
Yeah,
but anyway.
I saw one on Amazon last night.
Right. Anyway, he was actually doing pretty well in this movie. His acting was great. The kid's acting was decent. Sam Jackson's at the top of his game. And James McAvoy should be nominated for an Oscar next year.
Yeah.
For sure.
I agree.
Like, especially the ending. I'm not gonna say it, but yeah. Out of, what are we saying, 10 stars?
It's not stars, just out of 10.
Out of 10?
Yeah.
Based on an overall movie?
Yeah.
I'd give it like a solid 7.2.
Yeah, I think I'm right. I'm right there with you. 7.2, 7.5. It's higher than what most critics or whatever have put it at. I don't know if they were just expecting something more or what. Like, that's the thing, is you can't go into a movie with expectations. Like, I feel like you specifically went in expecting like a superhero movie where they're gonna fight the whole time, but it's not that at all. It's them kind of finding themselves. It's like a find yourself story. Like, am I actually a superhero?
For reference, though, I will say I would give Unbreakable a 9, maybe a 9.5 in between there, and I'd give Split a 7, and without the ending of Split, I would have give it like a 6.
Yeah, I think it goes 1, 3, 2, Unbreakable, Glass, and then Split. But McAvoy's performance in Split makes the movie worth watching in general.
Now, I think to fix McAvoy's character a little bit, I think you should have made the Beast get different every time he switched to the Beast. Like, he started.
So let's get in depth on the movie just a little bit. So, spoiler alert at this point, we will be talking about things that happen in the
Spoiler
movie.
zone.
So, if you don't know this, but everyone dies.
Okay, well,
Spoiler
you didn't get
alert.
much people. You're gonna have to put a spoiler like sound there, so people like, no, you just went right into it, dude.
Usually I
yeah.
say that, and it's a joke, and I mess with people, and I just say, everyone dies in the movie, but
and
we'll get there.
If you're already listening, or if we're cutting this out, I don't know. But Eric will have a timestamp to switch to when the spoilers are over, so you can fast forward.
Yeah, hopefully I do that. We'll see. Maybe I just want to ruin people's day.
Anyway, yeah, the ending, they all die. David Dunn dies from a water puddle. I get where M. Night was coming from, where it's like, oh, his weakness killed him in the most minute and terrible way.
Okay.
And it was very
See,
embarrassing.
and this is another moment where we disagree. It's a modern day kryptonite. Okay, so David Dunn, when he was little, he was basically drowned to death by other kids in a swimming pool, and that haunted him his entire life. So basically, his kryptonite is water, and a way he gets around that is he wears a poncho. So that's like a symbol of his suit, like how he avoids his kryptonite. Well, when he's exposed to water, he's weaker. He's not the same strong man that he usually is. And in the movie, he's held down by 3 armed guards, basically drowning.
I just
him.
feel like he could have went out better. And also,
It was sad. I was really pissed off when I saw him die. Like, that was the worst moment. And I thought I was going to hate the movie at that point. But then the Shyamalan twist kicked in and saved it, which we'll get there.
And I just think I understand where M. Night's coming from, because they all died from their weaknesses. The Horde died because Kevin came back. Kevin Wendell Crumb, who is one of the many personalities. He's the original person.
He's the actual
He's
person.
the person. So he came back. That was his weakness. He showed emotion, got shot. Glass broke because he got his ribs.
Glass.
Yeah, his ribs broke and got tossed. And then obviously David Dunn with water. So I get it. But the whole introduction of the anti-superhero league, I don't know what you want to call these people.
Well, let's explain that a little bit. So basically in the movie, Mr. Glass is in an insane asylum. He's been in there since the end of Unbreakable.
We don't have to get tuned up.
I know. I'm just setting up. I'm
just
setting up where this League of Extraordinary Gentlemen comes from. Anyways,
The
so then
anti-league.
David Dunn and James McAvoy's character, which he has 23 different characters, so we're just going to refer to him as
Personalities,
split
not characters.
personality, whatever. They get captured by what seems to be the cops and this one therapist. And they get put in the insane asylum where Mr. Glass is being held. And while they're there, this therapist basically tries to convince them that it's all in their head and that they're not really superheroes and it's all a delusion. And she's trying and trying to convince them, but throughout the movie they obviously don't believe it. And as an audience member, you kind of get on the edge.
You question it for a little bit,
Yeah,
and then
you question it for a little bit.
Scene later, it's already back to okay.
But
that
then,
was a lie.
Yeah, but then when Mr. Glass is breaking out, and when the Beast, which is James McAvoy's 23rd personality, or 24th.
His superhero trait.
Yeah,
His superhero.
He turns into the Beast. He's super strong. He can climb on walls. He can be shot, basically. But when you see him climbing on the walls, okay, he's obviously.
But this psychiatrist tries to humanize all of their superhuman strength. She tries to say, "Oh, well, you studied rock climbers, so rock climbers can have been known to be able to do this."
Yeah, and you're like, well, obviously, it's like
she's trying to make them think they're crazy. She's trying to say, "Hey, your traits are not real," and she even said to David Dunn, people can lift that much weight and even more because his bench press and all that stuff, and they start questioning all of their superheroes. Or their traits.
They do, but then Mr. Glass is trying to provoke them to show their abilities. So he's a villain, but he's also, I don't know, an anti-hero, I guess.
He's like the Joker of this.
Yeah, he's trying to raise chaos, but he also wants them to realize that they actually are superheroes because this is his life's work. He studies comic books. Like, that's what he does. So he wants this to be real.
He wants it to be exposed to the world.
He thinks there's more behind comics than people can see.
Mm-hmm. Which is the whole purpose of in Unbreakable. He did a bunch of terrorism acts because He wanted to prove that someone was out there with superhuman
Yeah.
tendencies, and there was. That was David Dunn. And actually, the Horde's dad was on that train too, which
Yeah,
actually,
okay, so we're getting there. But basically, they end up breaking out. They have David Dunn and the Beast have a showdown, and they fight. And who was it? David Dunn who exposed it? He knew about his dad?
No, David Dunn's son did research and found out.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
And then he told Mr. Glass, and that's when the
So,
Horde
yeah.
got pissed at Glass. The Horde actually killed Mr.
Yeah,
Glass.
they tell the Horde that Mr. Glass actually killed Kevin Wendell Crumb's dad, who was on the same train as Bruce Willis.
And that's what
in
caused
Unbreakable.
the Horde to become a...
So Shyamalan twist number 1 right there. So we didn't see that coming, and the reason, he became a split personality disorder person is because of the death of his dad.
And at the same time, that exact same train that killed his dad also was what started David Dunn's questioning.
Yeah, so he created two
much,
superheroes out of one disaster, which you find out in the movie. So when this happens, the Beast turns on Mr. Glass, who was his partner up until this point, and basically breaks his ribs, which stabs him in the chest and the heart, and it hurts him. So they have their showdown, they're fighting, and then all of a sudden, the cops show up. And, at this point, we're like, okay, it's just the cops, they're going to stop him or whatever. Well, the Anya Taylor-Joy, Casey, she was from Split. She actually got let go by the Beast because he saw her as impure because she was molested as a child. And you just got to go watch Split to understand that side of the story.
I feel like she was kind of shoehorned in this movie also.
Yeah.
On that note. I feel like...
It's kind of thrown in there, but it also made sense because she's the only one that's actually gotten...
she's a great actress, everything, but like her character was just kind of weird because it felt like she like was in love with him a little bit. It was weird. It was just weird.
It's one of the only characters he's felt like an emotional connection to.
Right. It just was weird.
I don't know how that's
weird.
weird. How's that weird?
Just watch the movie. It was just
the
weird.
whole love romance thing is weird because apparently she's in high school, but
that's what I'm saying. But
there wasn't actually romance. I think she was looking at him as like a broken person too because of what she's been through. Like her uncle molesting her when she was a kid. She had to live with him growing up. She got beat. Like she can relate to him. It wasn't more of a romance. It was more of a relatable person.
But here's the thing. All anyone had to do was say Kevin Wendell Crumb like 5 times, and he shows up, and he's fine.
But nobody knew that until...
So she like kept it a secret. She's like, I'm the only one that wants to be able. I'm the only one going to be able to release him.
Well, I don't think it ever was like really brought up. Like the therapist from
she could have told
Split
the news
told
sources.
her.
She could have told everybody. She could have said, "Hey, all you have to say is this guy's name is Kevin Wendell Crumb, and he will appear back in the light," which is the personality thing.
Or maybe it was just her that could summon him.
Maybe, but that's why that was my biggest gripe was that.
So towards the end, she gets Kevin Wendell Crumb to come back out, so she basically calms the Beast. And when this happens, the police that we think are police or SWAT shoot him in the chest, and he dies. And as this is happening, the same guys are drowning David Dunn in a puddle of water.
Mm-hmm.
And they took the sun away, so the sun didn't see it, which kind of made me mad. I was like, wait, why isn't the sun doing anything?
Yeah, that was another thing. Was like his son like disappeared.
Well, they pulled him away. They dragged him away and threw him in the back of a van.
But then then they were like, okay, you can get out of the van now and go see your dad after he died.
Yeah,
that was weird.
He didn't know how he died, so he was obviously upset. And then so David Dunn is dead. The Beast is dead. We see Mr. Glass talking to the therapist, and they all have this like clover tattoo. The cops had a clover tattoo on their hands.
It was a 3-leaf clover.
It was a 3-leaf
Bear
clover.
That in mind.
And the therapist had a 3-leaf clover on her hands. So at this point, everyone's confused. So all of our main characters just died. Who are these people? What are they doing? Why do they all have these tattoos on? Well, come to find out, Shyamalan twist number 2, she is a part of a basically secret society who knows about heroes and villains living amongst us, and they are set to humanely get them to stop acting that way. So that's why they were trying to humanize them in the movie. But when they don't succumb to the humanization, they kill them.
Yeah.
And they kill heroes and villains. They don't just kill.
They're pretty much an extermination force, but they don't want to kill at first.
Yeah,
They want to try to pacify them, and then once they're not compliant with that, then that's when they go, let's kill them.
Yeah, they basically give up and then they just kill them.
And they're gonna go from city to city. But now here's where it gets cool.
Well, before you there, but yeah, she tells Mr. Glass he was right all along, that comic books were actually written after true stories. Or some of them were. They're kind of like historical tabloids of heroes in the past. And she tells him he's right before he dies, and then he passes away. And so what they do is they go in and they delete all the security footage from the hospital, so no one can see that these heroes actually exist. So no one can see what happened. Basically, like, I don't know, like the CIA covering up a operation.
We get it.
Yeah.
They're not 5 years old.
I'm explaining. Get over it.
They get it. They understand. They're not stupid.
I like to explain things.
Okay, but anyways, Eric forgot to note earlier that the entire time in the mental institution that Mr. Glass was like not responsive to anything. He was kind of like paralyzed, I guess you could say, and numbed by the medication.
Yeah, he was sedated.
But you find out that he was faking that, and he's switching out pills because he's like a genius. So anyways, earlier in the story, he did some coding. We didn't know what was happening. And then,
yeah, we saw him on a computer, and he was typing some stuff up anyways.
And then after they're all dead, you find out that he was actually recording under the main recordings. He was doing it on a secret drive.
Well, no, I guess he was copying it and sending it to his private server, private website.
And he released it to everybody so everyone could see it.
Well, no, he didn't release it. He sent it to his mother, he sent it to Casey, and he sent it to...
I think you're wrong. I think he sent it to everybody, but they were just one of the ones...
We'll get there. But
right. We're there, but...
We'll go with my take. I'm pretty sure he sent it to them, and they released it, because later when they're sitting in like a train station, and the mother of Mr. Glass says,
"That's true.
How long has it been since we released it?" And basically what happens is they took all the footage and they put it on a website and they put it on social media.
I don't know how I forgot that, because I didn't like that, because people easily question everything that's made today.
I thought of that too.
And like they would have been like, okay, so these three people whose the parents are related to these people somehow made these videos to make them like glorify them. Like people easily would have questioned it. They wouldn't have been like, oh, this is so real. This is so...
Yeah, they would, but at the same time, I feel like the raw footage of it would be believable. Plus, like, it pans out and we see it's already on the news.
That's what I'm saying. If he would have sent it out to everybody at once, it would have been better. But
so basically, Shyamalan twist number 3 is Mr. Glass actually saved all this footage, sent it out, and kind of exposed this group that was the 3-Leaf Clover gang.
Mm-hmm. Whoops. But yeah, overall, that's the movie. It was okay. I would suggest renting it sometime.
I thought it was good. I was a little upset that David Dunn died. I mean,
they all died. It was the end of a trilogy. I understand, but that's just not the way you should have killed him.
Yeah,
sorry.
I can see that. Maybe like the Beast and him kill each other.
I don't know. That's why I'm saying I don't like where the movie went at the third act. I just don't like
another good ending Brian had, which I'll let him explain, about the son, which would have been pretty cool.
So when the son comes out to see his dad die, I felt like it would have been pretty sweet if he got like super angry and unlocked like certain rage and like punches the ground, and like you see the concrete kind of split open and he like realizes he has superhero powers. You cut away to the other people, like they're not really paying attention, so like they're kind of like running around, and then they come to find David Dunn's body and you find both of them gone. That'd have been kind of a cool ending.
It would have been cool if he had superpowers. I will agree with that, but other than that, I liked how it ended. I think the second and third twist made it better, made the ending better, like when they died, because this group is basically like the Illuminati. Like they meet in public, but there's like a security footage where they're all at a restaurant and they're all talking, having a good time, and then we see 2 people get up and leave that weren't supposed to be there, and then everyone gets quiet, and this whole 3-Leaf Clover group like starts talking about the heroes they're going after.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna see some footage of other people, which kind of made me mad that we didn't. But
I don't know. Overall, I'd say it's worth watching, especially if you've seen Unbreakable and Split.
Yeah, you have to at that point.
Yeah, if you haven't, well, yeah, I'm saying, but if you've only seen Split, because I know some people have only seen Split, go back and watch Unbreakable and then watch Glass.
Yeah. And what I've learned from like this, and especially The Last Jedi, don't ever have expectations going to a movie, especially sequels, because you'll get let down most of the time.
Yeah, so a little thing about Brian is he likes to read reviews and look at ratings before
we go. You guys always assume I read spoiler reviews. I read a little bit of reviews to see what people are saying.
Brian always
but that doesn't get in my head. Yeah. What gets in my head is my hype for the last year of reading theories, new character theories and stuff.
Get off the Star Wars train for
no, because that's my biggest disappointment.
That's all you
Last
talk about.
Last Jedi is the biggest disappointment, and whoever listens to this podcast will know that about me. The Last Jedi is trash.
As far as the Star Wars series, yeah.
I'm not even a huge Star Wars fan. That's why I was
overall
so
the movie
mad.
was okay. Like, it's an enjoyable movie to watch, but
The Force Awakens, like, it set up so much, and everyone's like,
ruined it.
"Oh, JJ sets up stuff but can't finish it." Well, that's not his job to finish it. Whoever had the next movie could have done so much more with what they had, but nope. All right, we'll do a whole podcast about Last Jedi sometime before the next one comes out.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll talk about the
I could talk 3 hours about that
both
movie.
of the new ones, and we'll talk about the disappointing Last Jedi. But yeah, Brian, we go to the movies a lot, and he's always, before we go into the movie, he'll say, before we go into the movie, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, this had bad ratings." It's like, okay, so way to just put that in my head while I'm going to watch this movie.
See, I don't let it influence me. Like I've gone to a movie plenty of times where I'm like, okay, this has terrible reviews, and then I'm like, that movie subverted my expectation, how it's supposed to, Ryan Johnson. But then any little theory gets in your head, any negative review, you're like, oh, I have to think this is a bad movie because I give into peer pressure.
No, I don't want that in my head. I go into a movie with no expectations. Unless I was hyped for the movie. Unless I was ready for this movie to come out, then I might get let down. But usually I go into a movie with no expectations. I'm just going to go watch it and see what happens.
I'm trying to think, what's a movie where like we went in and it was just like blew us away. I'm trying to think.
For you, it was Oblivion.
Yeah, me and Trevor, our youngest brother, we went and saw Oblivion with Tom Cruise. We had no expectations. I was like, this looks cool. And by the end of it, Trevor had tears on his face.
Yep, he did. And I wasn't there, but they came out.
It's a good sci-fi. It's not that good, but it's a solid sci-fi. But at the time, Trevor was like,
they came out and told me it was the greatest movie ever made.
No,
so of course, I had to go see Oblivion. I see it. I liked the movie. Don't get me wrong; it was a good movie.
See, but you had expectations.
Not the greatest movie ever made.
You had expectations.
Yeah, but it was a letdown to the greatest movie ever made.
I remember when Dark Knight Rises came out. Trevor Hastert, and a couple other people came to our house. Dude, this is so good. It's so much better than The Dark Knight. Dude, you have to see it. I'm like, okay, I can't wait.
It was not.
It was not. No.
It was not.
And The Dark Knight wasn't even like... The Dark Knight's a good movie, but without the Joker, it would have been just like a stupid, boring movie. The Joker made the movie.
Still the best Batman trilogy, in my opinion.
I don't know. The story's clunky, and the screenplay, like, if you read it, it's just not... I don't know. It's not put together.
Batman Begins and The Dark Knight were amazing.
Dark
Knight Rises was good, but it wasn't the best way to end a trilogy.
But The Dark Knight was only good because of the Joker, the action. The story wasn't that good. The story was kind of just like all over the place.
It was chaos. That's what it's supposed to be.
Okay, stop trying to make sense of it, all right?
That's what the Joker is, bro.
No,
He's chaos. He brings chaos to everything.
You're reaching, bro. You're reaching.
I'm not reaching.
Yeah.
No.
All right, let's go into the next segment because we talked like 20 minutes about Glass, and probably no one cares about Glass. So
well, maybe. I don't know. That's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be kind of like this. We're gonna discuss a movie. So if we tell you what we're gonna watch for the next episode, go see it, and then we'll let you know our opinion, or don't. And then
let's get into the segment I want to do because this is gonna be an ongoing thing. This is the top 10 list, and what it is me and Eric are gonna compile today a top 10 list of what we believe are the 10 greatest movies that we've seen. We have still not seen a lot of the classics. We still have not seen a lot of movies that a lot of people will probably be like, why do you guys have a podcast if you haven't seen these movies?
Yeah, you guys aren't real film critics.
Yeah, what the heck? Well, sorry, but like a lot of the black and white movies are kind of boring. I saw Casablanca, and that was really boring, and I didn't like it. So
saw Citizen Kane a couple times. I get why it is what it is, but it's not a movie I'm like, come home. Oh, Citizen Kane's on. I'm going to see or watch it.
Like Schindler's List. That's a movie I never want to see again. Great movie, but I'm not putting it in my top 10.
Okay.
It's very sad.
Yeah, it is sad, but it's a great movie.
It is a great
But
movie.
yeah,
but
I
it's not a
guess-
movie.
But it's like, do you want to be depressed for the next 3 days? Because if you do, watch some Schindler's List.
For our top 10 movies, I'm putting watchability in there too. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Like Requiem for a Dream. That's a great movie. I will never watch it again. Once is enough on that
yeah,
one.
it's kind of hard to watch after
But,
the first time. It's like,
yeah.
I get it.
For our top 10, it's going to be watchability, I don't know, entertainment, I don't know, obviously like cinematography, soundtrack. Soundtrack's going to be a big factor.
Are we coming up with this top 10 right now?
Yeah. I told you we're doing this.
See, I didn't write any of the movies down.
So we're going to have to write this down. Well, you should be able to come up with the top of your head if you know what your favorite movies are. But yes, so over the course of the podcast series, whoever thinks that there's a top 10 movie that belongs in there that's not in there, you can challenge us and we will watch that movie.
And we'll shut you
next,
down.
Well,
Just
next
kidding.
week, you watch or listen, and we might put it in the top 10. But
we're not actually like ranking them 1 to 10, right?
I kind of wanted to.
I just feel like it could be like a pool of 10 movies.
All
See,
right.
that was my thing. Is like we were asked that a lot in film class. Like, oh, name your top 5 movies. Is the hardest thing to do because it's like.
But no, it's different for
I don't
everybody.
have a
like
number one overall movie.
Okay, let me think. Like I have like probably one of the Harry Potters is in my top 10, but it's not a top 10 movie of all time.
See, we're gonna disagree on our top 10 right now.
That's
boys
what I'm saying.
and
Is
girls.
like you got to be objective a little bit. You can't be like, oh, I like this movie because it makes me happy when I was a kid. Well, sorry, doesn't classify. So let's get started. What's the first movie you want to introduce to this top 10? Abraham Lincoln Vampire.
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. If you haven't seen it, good. Don't watch it. It's bad. I don't know. I feel like Forrest Gump is gonna be in my top 10.
That was my first one I was gonna say.
And I don't understand how
a lot of people don't like it.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
I don't know. There's some political things in there I don't want to get into.
But that's the whole thing. Is you're seeing. It's almost like you're seeing politics unfold from both sides. Where Jenny is this Democrat.
Yeah. First off, I wrote a paper in college about this, and Eric took my idea. But yes, I think Jenny represents the Democratic Party through the years. Forrest represents a Republican.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm not gonna get into politics, but that's where I'm gonna leave it. Because she was kind of
overall,
like
it's a good movie. I remember
goes through
watching
history,
it 100 times with my dad.
Soundtrack.
You cannot
acting.
change my mind
Yeah.
on Forrest Gump. I'm sorry. And if you don't like Forrest Gump, I hope you still listen to this podcast.
Don't judge us off of one movie. It's just a good movie, and Tom
No,
Hanks is the
we
greatest.
like it.
Tom Hanks
Get
is the
over
GOAT.
it.
I hate that word, but
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say he's the GOAT.
all right. So get your list up, Eric. You're writing these down.
I'm not.
Trevor, pull that up for us.
We got Forrest Gump on the list. Okay, you pick a movie now.
Okay. Obviously Jurassic Park. Spielberg in his prime. Whoa, dude! Don't you disagree with me on this? I'm going blockbusters too. This isn't like indie art house films. These are like they can be blockbusters. Jurassic Park, Spielberg in his prime. The acting's amazing. It's one of the greatest movies of all. I can't even like get into it. It is what it is.
I would put it on the back end of the top 10. I would not put it in the top 5.
It's in the top 10. It's arguably in the top 10.
Like I said, the back end of top 10. I mean, Jurassic Park is great. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, not every top 10 has to be like cinematically moving, and it's a good movie to watch. You never get tired of watching it.
And if you want
the graphics hold up, like sorry.
If you want Spielberg in his prime, Goonies.
No.
Goonies,
Did he even
baby.
direct that? I think he was
Yeah.
a producer. I don't think.
No, he directed it. I'm pretty sure. I hope he did.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, we might. I don't know. I feel like this might be biased because I'm a Spielberg fan, but I also feel like Raiders should be in there, and I also feel like
Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan should be in there.
So our top 10 is Steven Spielberg films.
E.T. No,
Yeah.
just kidding. E.T. sucks.
Yeah. Okay.
E.T. was pretty scary as a kid.
First Man.
What?
He was a producer on First Man.
Oh, I thought you were saying First Man should be in the top 10. I was like, I haven't seen
No,
that yet.
I actually haven't seen it either. Bridge of Spies. He was a producer on.
Okay, get your turn now.
Okay,
So
Forrest
what do we
Gump.
got?
Jurassic Park.
And Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan.
And what was the other one?
Not putting the Goonies in there.
No.
The Goonies is amazing though.
We had 3 Spielberg movies in there. How do we forget already?
Yeah, we just said them.
Saving Private Ryan.
Jurassic Park. You said Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders. George Lucas did that too, didn't he? I think they both did it, but
Yeah.
Raiders should be in there. Yes, no.
I mean, you could put. I feel like you could just wrap the Indiana Jones trilogy into one, really.
No, because if it's not a trilogy. Oh yeah, I like that you're calling it a trilogy. We're just gonna forget the fourth one.
Yeah, I mean, that's like Star Wars. When
I
the
don't think
prequels
Star
came
Wars would
out,
make it in the top 10.
I feel like the first one.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I'm not a huge old Star Wars fan.
Cinematically, it's one of the best shot films of all time.
Maybe this Empire. I don't know about the first Star Wars,
The
man.
Empire?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Episode 4.
Episode 4. I don't think so.
Yep.
I'd put Empire over 4.
Mm,
Empire was way better twist.
Oh, anyways.
I don't know. Okay,
we're not
if we're
gonna
doing
put Star
our
Wars.
list,
We're not gonna put Star Wars.
If we're
in
doing
there.
our list, it's got to be movies that we like. If it's on TV, we're watching. And in that, with that said, Shawshank Redemption's in there.
Yeah, I'd put that in there too. And I'd put Ready Player One. But
Shut the hell up, dude. That's not a top
Ready
10
Player One
movie.
is for me is a movie that I could just if it was on TV. I'd
Yeah,
really
that's
watch it.
that's a popcorn movie though. There's different values.
So you have Forrest Gump, Jurassic Park, Saving Private Ryan.
And like you're not even talking about factors. You gotta talk about. You're just looking at one aspect, like enjoyability with Ready Player One. But like the story wise, it's not a very good story.
Yeah,
It's kind of clunky.
I was joking.
Oh,
Joking,
okay.
dude.
You're
Chill.
serious. So.
Chill. So
Okay.
Forrest Gump, Jurassic Park, Saving Private Ryan. What was after that?
Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, we're not putting Indiana Jones in there?
I think we should, but you can put it as an outlier right now.
Yeah, what is an outlier right now? Fight Club?
No.
What?
No. It was cool when we were in college. Like, it was like, Fight Club. Like, let's fight the
No,
system. And
the
now it's
movie
like,
is good.
Where are you going?
What are you talking about? Fight Club is a great movie. It's in my top 10, my personal top 10. I don't know why it wouldn't be in this. Inception,
Put it as
Interstellar.
Nah. I'm not big on Inception. I watched it the other day, and it was
Oh
not
my
as good as I
God.
thought. You gotta remember, when we were in high school, everything was pretty cool. When it was like, oh, this is like a
Bro,
philosophical
I could watch Interstellar and
concept.
Inception today, and I think it'd still be awesome.
It's long and boring. Try it again.
No, it's not.
Most of Jonathan Nolan's screenplays are kind
No.
of duds, man.
No.
Interstellar could have been good, but it went the wrong direction at the end.
I'm not. I'm just.
Like Interstellar, for me, okay, sorry. When I'm saying stuff, I'm saying it as my opinion. I'm not saying it's ultimate, But anyways, I watch Interstellar for the space stuff and the soundtrack. Do you agree?
Interstellar's a great movie.
You love all the stuff about Murph. Like, Murph, I gotta find Murph.
Yes.
All right.
It's his daughter, dude. Like, why would he not be acting the way he did if his
Murph.
daughter was running away?
Tars. All right.
You're just making fun of McConaughey, bro.
He's my favorite. He's one of my favorite actors. Just
Stop.
saying.
Stop.
That's my boy.
Anyways, another movie.
So we got 5.
Yeah.
Your
I mean,
turn.
this is kind of so you guys can get a gist of the movies we like.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it. It's not really the top 10
But yeah,
of all time, but
we're just-
it is.
You can try to add one in there if you want. You can try to beat another movie.
Trevor,
but
what's one of
you're
the
not
top
gonna
10
beat
favorite-
Interstellar.
Top 10 best movies of all time.
Trevor, our youngest brother, is in the room, and he thinks that
What'd he say?
he doesn't really watch movies, so we
Did he
don't
just-
get along well. He's a
Did he
dickhead.
say The Devil Wears Prada is in the top 10 movie?
Gladiator has to be.
Ooh, Gladiator. That's actually solid.
Put it on the maybe list. 'Cause
That's a solid.
that's not
solid
bad.
movie.
And The Last Samurai. Those are both good flicks.
I've never seen The Last Samurai.
What?
All the way through.
Last Samurai is pretty good.
Come on, Tom Hanks or Tom.
Tom Hanks? Yeah, Tom
Yeah.
Hanks is a samurai.
Tom Hanks as a samurai. That would be a good movie. Castaway. Tom Hanks movies now.
Castaway's good, but not top 10, I don't think.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings Fellowship,
Yeah.
for sure. That's my favorite movie of all time.
See, for me, The Return of the King is the best one.
How? You start in the Shire, everything's happy, bro.
Yeah, and at the end, you go back to the Shire,
And it's
and
scorched.
it's happy.
In the book, it's scorched. And they
No,
did,
Return of the King is way better. There's closure. There's a giant battle. There's giant elephants. It's dope.
Bro, that's like the most simplistic way to look at the movie. It's
It
so
was
much deeper
awesome.
than that. I will say Return of the King is my second favorite because of Samwise, bro. Samwise carried that movie. Carried Frodo. He destroyed the ring. Samwise is the true protagonist of that movie.
Yeah.
But anyways, the first one's the best. Can we agree?
No, we're not going to agree on that.
Okay, so let's
3,
put
1, 2.
we'll
for
just
me.
put Lord of the Rings on there.
Okay.
That's
Alright.
one movie. And we'll put Indiana Jones there as one movie too.
Yeah. Indiana Jones is great. That was one.
So we'll put
Movies we
those two
watched
in the
with
top
my dad.
10 as well. So that's 6.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm writing them down somewhere.
God dang. All right, what else is left?
I don't know. There's just so many movies out there.
Do we want to put Harry Potter in there? I guess
No.
we could. No?
No.
The books were better, but
I love the
I know.
series, but no.
All
I don't
right.
think that cracks the top.
What's a movie that we watched?
I know one you're going to disagree with me is Goodfellas.
Here we are.
Oh my God, you haven't seen
Shut
that?
the podcast off, guys. He has not seen Goodfellas.
Sorry, I am the film person here. Brian is
Okay.
acting
He's
like
seen.
one.
He's not seen some of the movies I've seen, so.
Oh, I haven't seen La La Land.
I was just saying that. I was about to jokingly say
La La
Land
Land is one of Brian's favorite movies.
Dude, I'm gonna make a confession because I'm getting real with my podcast listeners. I saw La La Land by myself the second time, and it was like all these families and stuff. This old dude with the Chiefs hat on, man. But I'll tell you what, that's a good movie.
He loves his La La Land.
Okay,
I
don't
guess.
say it like that. But yeah, I like La La Land. It's a good movie.
Yeah, I know you like it.
Okay, it's a good movie.
I'm not saying it's not good. I just haven't watched it yet. It hasn't been on the top priority list.
Trying to think of like maybe a comedy we could put up there.
Dumb and Dumber is amazing.
Yeah, but I don't know if it cracks the top 10.
I don't know. I like a lot of the newer ones. Step Brothers. This Is the End.
We can't put those in.
These aren't in the top 10. These are just top comedies in my opinion.
Well, yeah, but let's not get sidetracked.
Role Models was good.
I watched Austin Powers the other day, and it holds up. It's still a pretty funny movie. I thought it would be like, this is cheesy. Like made in
Austin Powers
2000,
was
but-
great. Was great.
Without a Paddle, that's another good one.
Okay,
Watched
nope.
that the other night.
Reaching.
What?
Cheesy as hell.
It's a good movie.
It's like too slapstick cheesy. I don't like those. It's like, let's force comedy. Like, let's not force comedy. Let's just let it happen.
All right. So we got 4 left.
I haven't even. I don't know. I have Forrest Gump, Jurassic Park, Saving Private Ryan, Shawshank, and Gladiator.
Lord of the Rings. Dude, I didn't say Gladiator was in the top 10.
I know it's on the maybe. It's on the maybe, dude.
I don't know. Maybe I wish we could ask the audience on this one about our top 10 list. Do we want to put a Marvel movie in there? Because if we are, I would say Guardians of the Galaxy.
I would say Guardian. Top 10 of all time, though.
Of our list, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to do this on the spot because there's so many movies out there that you've seen.
We gotta
that you probably
finish
just
it.
Can't think of. On
Finish
the
it
top.
for the podcast. We gotta have a. And Eric, in this video, if you're watching it on YouTube, he should have like a list going on continuously as we
Maybe.
make this podcast. So
We'll see.
he's gonna be on that. Don't worry, guys.
The next one will be video, so we won't be able to do that. Stop.
Whoops.
Guardians is on there now.
I don't know. Take it off. What about some
I still think Fight Club should be on there.
Scorsese movies? There's got to be one of his.
Wolf of Wall Street.
No.
Why?
Didn't he do Goodfellas?
Yeah.
Put Goodfellas on there. I haven't seen it yet, but
Wow,
it sounds
dude.
like it's a good movie, so I'll watch it this weekend. And then I haven't seen. Oh no, Brian!
Casino's also really good.
Oh no, Brian! He hasn't seen Godfather either. But isn't Godfather supposed to be good?
Godfather is supposed to be the greatest movie of all time.
I'm just not a huge gangster movie fan. I just don't. It makes me sick.
So
Casino made me
with
sick. It was a good movie, but it made me sick.
Yeah, with Godfather, it's a good movie story wise and all that, and it's just 3 of them, and they're all 3 hours long, and I don't know. I never could get into it hardcore.
It's 3 hours long. Anytime that it's 3 hours long, it has to be a really good movie to get me to stay there and watch
Like
that.
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, this one. Blade Runner 2049.
Not top 10.
What?
It's a good movie. I like it, but I don't think it's top, And people are going to hate me for this, but I thought it was better than the original with old Harrison.
Well, yeah.
I felt like that one was just, I don't know.
I feel like it's a time thing. Like if you grew up with the original Blade Runner,
yeah, that's
gonna
another
be
thing
better.
that I got shit for, especially in school, was like, I'm more into modern movies. Like, I get film came from all these older movies, and for the time,
and we respect that.
yeah, for the time, they were amazing movies. I get that. Like, they were shot well. The directors of the time were visionaries. but it's 2019, and if I were to make a movie like Citizen Kane, shot for shot, people would not go see it in the theaters.
My buddy, who we might have on the podcast here, actually he said his son cannot watch any of the older movies because he's so exposed to the new stuff. And it's like I worry about the generation that's born now. It's like, are they gonna still like Lord of the Rings? Like they better like Lord of the Rings.
I just think that, I mean, in time, that stuff, the older movies are gonna fade out. Like,
and I think that's why we don't like a lot of the black and white movies. There's no offense to them, we respect them, but
I wouldn't say black and white. I would just say, pre 1960s.
Well, and it's like the camera versatility.
Yeah, sure.
It just wasn't there because you had one or two cameras. Obviously,
The quality
I don't
of it.
care about the quality as much, but like they didn't have the shots. But like Hitchcock was he's a revolutionary, and I've only seen a couple of his things. I need to see more.
Yeah.
But his I can watch because he does stuff that was so far ahead of the time.
When I feel like with the older movies, the acting is so much more exaggerated.
It's like this. They all talk like this, buddy.
No, it's just some. There. Don't get me wrong. There are some great performances, but
Very wooden. Very.
it's just they're
wooden-loaded.
different. They're different than what we see today, than what
Mhm.
we're accustomed to now. And it's like
And that's a sign of the times too. Like people were different back then, and they
Yeah.
were reflecting. That's what actors do. They reflect the real people in the environment. And
I mean, we have the
it's
privilege.
different.
We had the privilege growing up to see older movies and new movies, but I feel like with the way things are today, like I was explaining this to someone a few days ago. It's just like I have respect for all the older movies, but I will not make a movie like an older movie. Like it's just I'm not gonna make a movie like that.
Like westerns. Like what was it? The one with Christian Bale.
Westerns
I
are
forgot what it
amazing,
was
though.
called. There was one with Christian Bale that came out last year. I should know it, but
Oh Jesus.
it's not called Jesus.
I just watched it.
Anyways, that reverts back to western. It's just like if you're gonna do a western today, you have to do it with the new concepts and the new technology, but you can't go Wild Wild West on it. If you go Wild Wild West, then that's Hostels, yeah. But if you go Wild Wild West, that's where it gets stupid. Like they remember that they had bad CGI and that big spider robot thing.
What are you talking about?
The Wild Wild West
Oh
movie.
yeah, but that was
they
also at the time it wasn't bad.
Yeah,
But
well,
now
we were
you
also at
watch it and
6
you're
or
like,
7.
okay.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Back to our points. We got to put a Coen brother movie in there. I would say
Oh brother, where art thou?
no. I would say
What?
No Country for Old Men is way better.
Mm.
Oh Brother's good and entertaining, but like as a whole, like really good gritty movie. Like No Country for Old Men is awesome and it has one of the best antagonists too.
Yeah.
Like I love that movie. That and There Will Be Blood, but There Will Be Blood is a bit of a. It can be a snoozer for some people, but I think No Country is their best film. Agree or disagree? Fargo was good too.
Agree. Fargo was great as well. Yeah, I mean for like gritty western. I mean
I'd
that's
say it's a
kind of
top
a
10.
western.
It was nominated for Best Picture. It should have won.
Yeah.
It was going against There Will Be Blood as well. So
I still think old westerns hold up today.
Some
very
do.
very few of them are. Very few old movies.
and
like
that's
that.
another thing is people didn't. I'm not trying to get off subject, but technology today has. You cannot deny it has affected attention spans.
Oh.
We live much faster, quicker. Conversations are quick. Back then, you had the attention span to be able
Well-
to observe the environment of the slow, steady shots of the Old West movies.
Well, and that's why no one likes original movies anymore. It's like unless it's a big popcorn.
Like, when's the action? When's the action?
Yeah, action movie. People aren't as interested. Like, wait, I have to think? This movie's making me use my brain? I don't like it. I'm getting on my phone. I'm
Yeah.
checking Facebook.
Yeah, it's very everyone. I'm not gonna. That's a generalization, but a lot of people don't have the time span. And people have kids. Kids can't sit in
I know,
those
I
kinds
just-
of movies.
The appreciation for film isn't what it used to be.
I agree. I mean, look, we're gonna get into the Oscars later, but I'm just gonna say, look at the Oscars this year. I haven't seen very many of the Best Picture noms, but from what I've been hearing and talking with people, Bohemian shouldn't have been.
Should have or shouldn't?
Should not have been.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
But anyways, let's finish this list, and then I want to talk about one more thing. Then we have a little thing coming up.
Yeah, I mean we're pushing almost an hour now.
Yeah, we're
so
probably gonna be an hour and a half by the time we're
maybe.
But yeah, we'll get some more stuff. We're going to take a quick break, give you a little snippet of music from a band we know. Or something. I don't know what we're going to put in here because it's supposed to be a video today. So...
It was supposed to be video, but Brian didn't charge the batteries for the camera.
Oopsies.
So, we're doing
plus
an
it's our
audio
first one. This might be trash.
Yeah, maybe you hate us. Maybe you like us.
All right, we'll be back in a quick few. All right, welcome back. And with our list, we finalized it. Eric, do you want to give us the rundown of it?
Kind of finalized it. Forrest Gump, Jurassic Park, Saving Private Ryan, Shawshank Redemption, Lord of the Rings. That's all 3 movies into one, by the way. Indiana Jones, Guardians of the Galaxy, Goodfellas, Pulp Fiction, Fight Club, No Country for Old Men, and The Dark
I thought
Knight.
we got rid of Guardians.
I was going to say that's 12. So, yeah, we'll drop Guardians out of there. And I think we should drop... Is that 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, we have 11.
All right, drop Guardians and Goonies.
Goonies isn't on there. It should be, though.
No.
We can drop Jurassic Park.
Sure, even though I have the Jurassic Park shirt on, I'm representing.
Get over
Get
it.
rid of it. They
So,
destroyed the franchise, by the way.
finalized top 10, not in any specific order. Between me and Brian, we have come up with Forrest Gump, Saving Private Ryan, Shawshank Redemption, Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, Indiana Jones, Goodfellas, Pulp Fiction, Fight Club, and No Country for Old Men, and The Dark Knight.
All right. The
Not-
Dark
not
Knight
a
was
bad-
cultural.
Not a bad...
At the time, Dark Knight was amazing. We loved it at the time. I still like it.
It's
but-
still one of the best movies of all time.
Yeah.
So that's our top 10. So if you think you have a movie that is better than ours, leave a comment below or tweet at us
Or
at
text us.
Inglorious
you know,
Hasterts.
Yeah.
Actually, our Twitter's not even set up yet, so whoops. All right. So yeah, we're gonna do a couple more things here, and then we're gonna get out of here.
All right. We're going to do this thing Eric wanted to do. It's a segment where it's called Premise. And we are going to, I guess,
Well,
we have to come up with a premise in a minute.
for now, yeah, just like a pitch. You pitch a movie premise, basically, based on what they select, or if we actually have a lot of viewers and want to get involved with this, we will take suggestions as well, and we'll come up with movie premises.
And Eric is going to overlay some pretty epic trailer music when we do
I
this.
might do this, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Stop saying maybe. Just do it.
I'm a maybe kind of guy.
Do it! All right. So I'm going to give Eric one that he kind of already talked about earlier. So I'm going to let him know that you kind
What?
of cheated with this one. Because you already knew. This is like one of your ideas. So I'm going to say if
But yeah,
there was
movie
a
premise was my idea.
Okay.
I was like,
but
but I feel like we
subject,
could like draw out of like a hat with
right?
like a
but
bunch
this
of
one I'm
suggestions,
just we're
so
just
that way
do a
you have
random
to
one.
think of
but
it
this
up
one
at
do
the
a
top.
random, and I'm going to say Eric. The studio wants you to direct a movie and write a movie
Okay,
about
let's hear it.
the life of Humpty Dumpty.
Humpty.
Make it a cinematic
Dumpty.
masterpiece. Go. Start the music.
Cue the music. Movie premise: Humpty Dumpty. Take 1. So, this is a story of an egg man. He lives with egglanders. It's just a community of egg people. They're just giant eggs, right? They're cut off from society by this big wall. It's just a giant wall
Donald
cutting them
Trump
off.
wall?
Well, you could say that, I guess.
It's a metaphor.
Yeah,
Metaphorical
metaphor.
movie.
But they're kind of outside of society. You got all the king's horses and all the king's men. They're just in this wall. They're within the wall. They're in the castle. But it's a story of one egg. His name is Humpty Dumpty. He's tired. He is sick and tired of being separated from all the fun. They hear the laughs over the wall. They hear laughs and parties, but they can't go because they're egg people. He's done with it. You know what he does? He takes a seat on that wall, and he looks into the eyes and the faces of all the king's men, all the king's horses and all the king's women and children and whatever else they have on that side of the wall. And he's an activist, okay? We follow
We're running
Humpty
out of
Dumpty
time.
from left to right to the end of days. But what happens? He falls. He falls and he breaks himself.
Sacrifice.
And the people within the wall, the king's people, they see that this Eggman sacrificing his own body so his people can be free, be with the real people of the world. And it gets sad. All the king's horses, all the king's men try to put him back together again. And they can't do it. They say, "We need a doctor. Are you a doctor?" He's not a doctor. He comes in, he tries to put Humpty back together again. They use tape. They use glue from the hooves of horses. They use whatever they can to save Humpty Dumpty's life. But they don't. But in Humpty Dumpty's honor, they take down the wall. And they live happily ever after again.
Would never watch that movie.
That is an instant Oscar right there.
It sounds like Angry Birds. Did you ever watch that one?
What? He didn't throw himself at their building.
No, but like it was like the same beginning. Like the guy's mad and like hates everybody. But like I get where you're going. But I thought you were gonna say like a charge came from the egg people and they tried to fight and then eventually just got all
No, they're
smashed.
made of
right. They
egg.
just
They would
easily
die.
Yeah.
That's why they don't fight, because if they did, they would die immediately. There was yolk everywhere when Humpty fell. Just
I would
by
give
the
that
way.
2 out of 10 stars.
Wow. Rough crowd.
Yeah.
Rough crowd.
I didn't like that.
Well, let's see how you do, dude.
All right.
Let me think of one. Are we just like going with like childhood fairy tales?
I don't know. That's what you were saying.
Um,
Anything. It could be a premise about anything. Like give me a little.
Okay. You have to write a movie about the hungry caterpillar.
No, I don't even know what that is, dude.
That's a premise. That's all you get. Hungry caterpillar. Go. Don't you remember that book?
No,
Wasn't
I
it
don't.
called The Hungry Caterpillar?
I don't know.
What? Where you like turn the page and he's like eating an
No,
apple?
do a different one because I'm just thinking of like the human centipede. I'd go that route. I
Yeah.
don't wanna...
Okay. Someone already made the hungry caterpillar and they failed. Bad.
Yeah.
You
You can be an original premise too. It doesn't have to be a childhood fantasy.
I don't.
movie.
I'm blinking, bro. Do. I can cut this out. I don't know. I didn't have one ready, so I don't know.
Think of something.
I want to see a movie about the tortoise and the hare. And the amazing race that they have to take.
No, dude, give me something
Bro,
decent. That's so stupid.
That's a good one.
That's stupid.
That is a good one.
No, that'd be a child CGI movie. Like it's a child's animation
What?
movie.
It doesn't have to be. Humpty Dumpty was a child's story, and then it got gritty, and he died.
No, give me a couple options because those are trash, and you already had that one set up.
Tortoise and the hare.
No, or like, how about a guy that like something's going on in his life and have to go from there?
No, because it's not. That's
a
stupid.
premise. You're
It's like,
giving me
I'm
a
gonna
little...
make a movie premise about a real movie. It's like, no, the whole point of this is to make a movie premise out of something that is never gonna get made into a movie.
Could be like a real life event too.
No, I can't.
Okay.
So you're gonna make Patriots Day or Deepwater Horizon? It's like, oh, make a movie about the volcano exploding. Boring.
I would say do Jack and the Beanstalk, but it's been made like
That's
4
already
times.
a movie. Good try.
I guess I don't have to do one.
Yep, Brian's not doing one today because he wouldn't do Tortoise in the Hare. I think that would be
Alright.
a dope movie to watch.
I just feel like that's too... They erase the whole movie? Like,
No, bro.
there's not much I can do with that. You could be like, here's a premise I would give you. Like, a guy gets abducted by aliens. Go from there. Something like, just like a simple movie premise. And like,
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
right, but I could go other ways with it. But
There's a lot of ways you could go with it.
all right, so we're just cutting this segment completely, or are you gonna think of
Yeah, we'll
something
probably
else?
just cut all this
What's
out.
another like childhood thing we can think of? Not Tortoise in the Hare. a Hey Arnold movie or something.
You're done.
All right. Well, that was
Well,
not fun.
Brian is not going to be doing his movie premise today because he's way too picky about what he wants to have. So we will take all your suggestions if you want to leave comments in the comment spot, wherever it is, wherever you're watching. Just leave us a comment. Let us know what you want a movie premise over.
Or we can do sequels to other bad movies too.
Yeah, that's not bad as well. So before we get out of here, we're just going to talk about a few upcoming movies.
I wanted to talk about the Avengers movie coming out.
That's what I just said. We're going to talk about a few upcoming movies and see what happens here. Avengers Endgame,
Yep.
May, right?
Yeah. End of April. But let's go back real quick. I'm not going to get political, but I've talked to people. I can't believe that any superhero movie is nominated for Best.
Yeah, it's
not political. I love
it's
Black Panther.
odd that Black Panther got nominated over Infinity War.
It's
in my opinion.
It's odd that any superhero movie, because it kind of like undermines what the best nominee means.
Yeah, it's like written and directed. You know, like all the pieces combined create a Best Picture. But
Right.
I mean, I get Black Panther. It was adapted, but the story was already there. It wasn't an original creation made. I mean, I guess it was when it first was written as a comic,
and
but
it is like probably my number 5 favorite Marvel movie of all time. But like still, even my top 2 movies I would never put them up for Best Picture.
yeah, I mean, I don't think a superhero movie should ever be up for Best Picture.
Dark Knight, but The Dark Knight wasn't
That's
even
different.
nominated either.
It's different though.
I don't think it was, but that's the point. Is like Dark Knight was so much better production wise than any Marvel movie.
Well, I feel like the Dark Knight trilogy wasn't family or like kid friendly, I guess you would say. Like it wasn't your typical Batman. Whereas a lot of the Marvel movies made today are very entertaining to kids and adults.
Right, and it's just like, just from what I've been hearing, a lot of it's weak this year, and we're gonna go over that. We're gonna start watching those Best Picture nominees and go over it.
We'll do an Oscars episode later. But for now, Endgame, Avengers Endgame. I can't wait for it, honestly. Now, I get that the superhero movies and everything regarding Marvel is so oversaturated. There's so many superhero movies. Some they shouldn't make. Some I feel like they just keep pushing and pushing, and it's like, okay, stop. But to watch Iron Man back in 2008, all the way up until Avengers Infinity War, it was crazy to see something like this happen where they brought together multiple different movies and storylines and they brought them all together in one. And that's never been done before in movie history. So to me, even if you don't like the superhero movies, it's still a crazy accomplishment to watch on screen.
And I know I'll get hate for this, but I didn't like the first one, the Infinity War, very much. I thought it was good and I thought it was entertaining, but I wasn't like...
It was amazing.
I never have the urge to watch it again. Like I'm never like, oh, I can't
What?
wait. I'm not
I've seen it 3
I'm not a
times.
huge Captain America fan, and I didn't like the storyline between Vision and Scarlet Witch. I didn't like that. A lot of stupid things happened. I like that they went to Wakanda and that fight was awesome, but like there's so many things that happened in there that shouldn't. Like when they were trying to protect Vision, there's so many things they could have done differently to protect him.
Kind of.
Like he could have just flown somewhere. Like
No, they would have flown after him.
he could have just hit.
They
anywhere.
can track the stone. That's why he was running in the first place.
Yeah, it's been a long time
Anyways,
since I've seen it, so I can't
Infinity
really
War
talk
was
too much.
great. A lot of people didn't like the ending. Spoiler alert.
Obviously.
Half the galaxy dies.
But yet they're already doing sequels for half the people that died, so it's fine.
Well, obviously they come back. It's a comic
Yeah.
book, bro. Go read it.
Well, and like the whole thing with Guardians 3 right now, that really made me mad because Guardians is...
Yeah, we're not going to get into that right
Alright,
now.
we'll get
But
into it, I'm just going to say.
I don't know. I'm kind of there with you. I didn't like most of Captain America movies. I also didn't like the Thor movies. I did like Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. Well, I think that was the point of Thor Ragnarok, because people weren't liking the Thor movies, so they finally like...
Yeah, I mean, the
put some
second one
spice
was
into
okay.
it.
Thor 2 was okay. But
Dark World
I'm
was
just saying
decent.
there might be movies, and like Iron Man 3 was bad. Like there might be movies throughout all the series that you don't like, but when they actually come together for the Avengers movies, it's
Mhm.
pretty great.
It's just like, I felt like some scenes in the Infinity War were like, this is awesome, I love it. Some were just like, can we fast forward?
Some of the what?
some of the scenes I was like really excited about and I loved watching it, and then some of the scenes I was like, can we fast forward?
Oh, I'm like, can we rewind and watch that
On
again?
some of them, yes.
No, most of them.
Really.
I've seen it 3
Really?
times. It is a
No.
great movie. Great movie.
But
Funny,
I will say the
action
best,
packed.
yes,
good
the
story.
best moment of all Marvel was when Thor came and they put the song on. They put Led Zeppelin on. Remember what I'm talking about?
That's in Ragnarok, bro.
They also do it in this one. When he shows up with Rocket and Groot. I'm pretty sure they play Immigrant Song.
I don't think they do.
Okay,
YouTube
you
it.
watched it before me,
YouTube it.
but they do, and it's awesome.
No, I don't think they do.
I think they do. Fact check that.
Pretty sure they don't play that song. I'm pretty sure it's a different song. But yeah, that is one of the greatest points in that movie. But the fact that they had so many different storylines going on and so many different like lead actors in this movie, I felt like they did a great job giving all of them screen time and enough screen time and not too little screen time. It's almost like the right amount. But we're not going to talk Avengers. We're going to talk Endgame coming up, which we will see Captain Marvel in it. There's talks that Wolverine will be in it and possible more X-Men characters.
Crap.
No,
Really?
that's for real. I don't know if he is or not. I haven't actually done all the research, but it's just I've read a few articles and saw mentions that he may be in this one, which I think would be cool if we saw a couple new characters come into play because they obviously need the help. But the whole point of Infinity War was they're getting back to the original Avengers with Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Black Widow, all the original Avengers people. So I hope they introduce a few more characters. That'd be
Yeah,
pretty
I think
cool.
they will.
Yeah, and the fact that they have to come back and get out of the dust.
Sorry, I'm still fact checking.
Yeah, we're waiting on Brian to.
Okay, they played the Avengers theme. I was wrong.
Yeah,
they
I
played
told you.
they played it in Ragnarok, but still, it was still a good movie.
Yeah, it was. Another good movie coming up, John Wick 3, Parabellum. I can't wait for that. Why? Because I can just watch John Wick all day. It's a great action
Yeah.
movie. Some people say it's too much action. I think it's a little over the top, but you can watch it multiple times. Like there's 15 Fast and the Furious movies. I think I saw 3 of them. John Wick, I could watch 10 of these.
That's because he actually went to real gun training for that stuff. So
Yeah, and he does
it's
all of his own
very
action
realistic,
and
yeah.
stunts.
I love that movie.
John
All
Wick
those
3,
movies.
looking like it's going to be a good movie.
Toy Story 4. That's another one coming out this year.
I'm indifferent about that. I feel like they shouldn't make another Toy Story. I feel like they did good
Money.
enough. I know it's money. That's everything. Lion King, Aladdin. Don't get me started, dude.
Dude, Lion King looks legit though.
I get it. This is kind of to our point about old movies. Is they're remaking old movies because the technology we have today they would have been better with
Because
it.
they're making money. You got to realize that a lot of these studios are their business, bro.
I know. That's why there's so many remakes and so many.
And they're selling.
Yeah.
I think Mary Poppins was the only remake so far that like hasn't made very much money. Like
Yeah.
one of Disney's.
I mean,
big ones.
I could have told you that. It wasn't like a huge thing with kids. Like we watched it and it was old when we watched it.
I don't think I've ever seen the original Mary Poppins.
Yeah, we did.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, we did.
No, I've never seen it.
We were children.
Don't remember it.
We saw it.
Didn't see it. I'm Mary Poppins, yo.
But yeah, I don't know. It makes me mad when they do things like that, but I'm sure I will see Lion King and Aladdin because they were great movies when we were kids. So we'll see what they can do with the new technology, which it should be pretty cool.
And while we're talking random stuff real quick before I close up, I only watched part of Hereditary. I didn't see the whole thing, but people are saying that should have been nominated for an Oscar, but I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know if I'd say Best Picture,
It is a weird movie.
but it was.
I feel like a Best Picture has to like have a human element that can relate to a lot of people, almost. Even
But-
if it's like something really obscure, a lot of people can watch it and be like, okay, like this is a really, really good movie. Like I relate to it some way or another. Hereditary is kind of just like a really good horror movie.
I don't even know if I'd say a horror movie.
Or
It's
thriller.
definitely more of like a thriller, psychological thriller.
Well, the ending's a pretty horrific thing.
Yeah, the ending's pretty crazy. I don't know. I think it'd be hard to actually get a horror thriller movie like that nominated. I thought it was good. It's definitely kind of slow, but the ending makes it worth it. Someone's sawing in my backyard. Some other new movie. I'm actually kind of pumped for the new Spider-Man. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I haven't been like when we saw Glass. That was the first time I've been to theaters in like 3 months because there's just not been any movies.
Yeah,
lately that
I was trying to think of the
see.
last movie I went to see, and it was a while ago. Oh, it was Fantastic Beasts, Grindelwald.
I'm glad I didn't see that.
So bad.
See, that's a movie I've saved money on because everyone I read said the story was all over the place. You said it was bad. Like,
Well, the
I can
story's
rent it
not
when it comes
bad.
out.
It's just they're executing it so bad.
well, the first one wasn't even that good. It was just kind of like a play on people's emotions that are invested in the Harry Potter world.
Which it does.
Wizarding world.
That's what you can easily see. They're just forcing Harry Potter in your face. They're like, oh, this was in Harry Potter. This was in Harry Potter. It's like, well, I don't want to see that. I've already seen Harry Potter. I don't need to connect the dots.
Mhm. Stupid.
So can't wait for 3 of those to come back out. Other than that, new movies coming up. Nothing too crazy.
I was gonna go
Not
see
until
the
summer, at
new
least.
Holmes and Watson, and I heard that was the worst movie. People were walking out of the theater. That movie.
Yeah, I got 0%,
Yeah.
which sucks because I love Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly together.
Yep.
Maybe I'm sure I'll rent it and watch it. Like I say, I don't judge a movie by reviews.
It sounded to me like it was an improv fest, but like they were just tapped out of ideas.
I'm sure it
or
was
just
funny.
didn't
Maybe the
work.
story was stupid, but that's
Yeah.
most comedies.
Trying to think what else before we close up. Anything else we need to cover? Netflix. There's not really any movies I'm looking forward to there. Still haven't seen all of Bird Box. I thought the first half was good.
Okay,
and fell
Bird
asleep.
Box. We were supposed to talk about Bird Box for the first episode, but Brian still hasn't watched it.
I mean, and it's like 3 weeks past due. People probably don't even remember the movie at this
What?
point. You got to
Still
be
pretty
fresh with
popular.
them,
I don't know. I was in between on Bird Box. I thought it was worth a watch. It wasn't a great movie. I think had this come out before A Quiet Place, people would feel different about it because that's mostly what people say.
I thought The Quiet
bad
Place
version.
was very, very overrated, by the way.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah, I wasn't a
Don't
huge
step
fan
in here
of
with
it.
that shit.
Sorry. I like John.
I like
Krasinski
John.
and Jim Halpert, but
Once again, an original film and was very good
Oh,
in my opinion.
a good one that came out on DVD recently, Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yeah, do you know they just greenlit 2 more?
Good. I love Mission. I
No,
used to not like them.
Stop.
No, everyone has been good. Like Ghost Protocol was good.
I liked them too, but it's like at what point, do you stop?
Until it stops being good and stops making money, they're gonna keep making it, bro.
No.
The Fast and the Furious is a good example of a money maker.
Boo. If you
I know.
like Fast and the Furious, that's awesome. I might watch a
My
couple,
wife
but
loves it.
the last one I saw
I
was
hate it.
Tokyo Drift, and I was like, yeah.
There's some good aspects to it. Like the first ones are all about racing, and it's really cool. And then it turns into like
Then
James Bond.
they all become secret agents.
Yeah,
Like,
that
what?
that's like our premises that we're gonna do for fake movies. That's something that
Yeah.
somehow got greenlit.
Here's a story about race car drivers who become secret agents.
They're just like, where do we go with them next? Let's make them superheroes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you hear about Avatar?
Is it out or coming out next year?
So they've already filmed the 2nd and the 3rd.
Yes, I already
Those
know.
are in post.
I know that.
And they're planning to film the 4th and the 5th before the 2nd one's released. But since Disney,
I think even if these fail, dude, James Cameron has made so much money with his other
I liked
movies.
Avatar. So
Yeah, but I'm saying like Avatar's gimmick was it was 3D, right? If it wasn't 3D, it wouldn't have been as. It would have been like a
what?
pretty.
I watched it on my regular TV without 3D, and I loved it again.
Can we settle an argument? Everyone in that movie was CGI'd.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they
No,
were,
they
dude. If
Oh
you
my
look
gosh.
at it, it
To
looks
this
weird.
day,
Like they
Brian
look
thinks
weird.
that
I got
the humans in the movie. So Sigourney Weaver, what's his name, Sam Washington or Worthington?
Worthington, I think.
He thinks they're CGI'd the whole time, the entire movie.
When you look at it, it looks like the
That's
whole
because
thing
of
looks
the 3D
fake.
cameras, bro.
Okay, well that counts. We're counting it.
Anyways, so the 2nd and 3rd are done. They're in post right now, but the 4th and 5th are delayed because Disney is trying to buy Fox.
Damn.
Yeah, Disney's about to own everything.
Wait, Fox did Avatar?
Yeah.
I don't think you're right on
Fox Studios, Searchlight, 20th Century.
that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, we've been waiting like 10 years for the second Avatar, and apparently it's all underwater. So ready for that movie to come
Oh my gosh. Another Aquaman.
out.
Stupid.
But yeah, we can talk about upcoming movies later. We're pushing about an hour and 20 minutes now. Usually these will probably stay under an hour and a half if you even make it to this point in the podcast. I hope you did. We will be back with another movie to review and more stuff to talk about and more stuff to do. Like I said, this is just our first podcast.
If you guys have any opinions on how to change this, if you want this guy talking now to shut up more, if you want the other guy to shut up more,
If you have opinions on our podcast and you want us to change things,
you can shove it up your
sorry,
butt.
not happening. It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
We don't care. We really don't care if you liked it or disliked it. Hopefully you liked it. But this is one of many. We're going to keep doing it even if we have
But
2
yeah, if you have
subscribers.
if you could have constructive opinions and criticisms to make this better, if you have ideas for stuff we can do, obviously we're gonna do a lot more with the video podcast. We'll be able to cut and do some.
Yeah,
weird
we have
stuff.
some segments that we've drawn
And
up
then-
and gotten ready.
And we're gonna talk about better movies than Glass. I know Glass was like our first review, but it was like Eric went on way
Well-
too long with the synopsis. Yeah, I know.
No.
But we're gonna fix that.
Nah. What we're trying to do is,
Yeah.
is we'll try to see a new movie in theaters within the first 2 weeks of its release and talk about it and let you know if you should see it in theaters or if you should wait for DVD. Glass, personally, I think you can wait until it comes out on DVD because it's not like a huge action-packed movie. I feel like movies with great cinematics and movies with action and stuff you need to see that would be better in a theater with the surround sound and with the big screen, that's when you need to see a movie in theaters. Other than that, you can rent it, buy it on DVD, and just wait.
And before we close up, I wanted to get I wanted Eric to say his 3 to 5 favorite actors, and I'll say mine just so we get a little bit more
Favorite
about us.
actors?
Yeah, this should be easy. You should know who your favorite actors are.
It's debatable.
Okay, I'll start with mine.
Okay, I bet they're pretty similar. Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Harrison Ford?
No, not my favorite actor. He's good, but not my favorite. Leo. He's one of my favorite
Leo?
actors.
Okay, so the top actors.
Gosling.
Okay.
And then McConaughey, when he's at his peak, when he's doing rom-coms, I'm not too big of a fan. I think that's my favorite 4 there.
I'd agree with most of those. I'd probably add, I think Sam Rockwell is a great actor.
Underrated. He's underrated.
Yeah, very
for
underrated
sure.
actor. Bryan Cranston,
Yeah, he's good.
I think he's underrated as well.
Because of Breaking Bad.
I like Scarlett Johansson.
Okay.
She is really.
Are we doing
she is
actresses
really good.
too? I thought we were just doing actors. Cause
Well, don't be sexist, bro.
that's not why I was doing that. I'm just saying, like, as a kid, you have role models as guys.
That's
like,
true. I get
that's
it. I
kinda
get
what I
it.
meant.
But I mean,
If we're doing actresses, I can say my favorite actresses too. Anne
Do it.
Hathaway.
yeah.
I wouldn't say Scarlett Johansson is up there. Obviously,
What?
Meryl Streep is up there.
No, sorry. I get her accolades and everything, but I don't get it.
Julia Roberts when she wants to be a good actress.
Nope. Now I feel like you're just naming naming people because you don't know any actresses.
That's a lie, dude.
Julia Roberts, who hasn't made a movie in
No,
forever.
No,
I
she
will
was
say
in
this,
Ocean's,
Sandra
12
Bullock's performance in Bird Box was actually really good.
and Blindside.
We were talking about Bird
No,
Box.
I'm saying
so
Blindside is a great movie and she's good in it.
she is a good actress.
And Miss Congeniality, we watched that the other night.
I like Idris Elba.
That's a guy.
Yeah, no, we're still on the actresses thing.
sexist.
I'm just thinking of names
Okay.
and people. And Robert Downey Jr. Good. Johnny Depp used to be. I mean, I still think he's got it, but he hasn't made
I
a
feel
really
like
good movie.
When
in
you
a
have that
while.
much money and all that shit that's going on in his life, he doesn't really have the
Yeah.
focus.
What was that called? Whitey? No. When he was
Whitey
Whitey Bulger?
Whitey Bulger.
His performance in that I thought was really good. I can't remember. What was the name of that?
The assassination of Whitey Bulger.
No. Nope.
Pretty sure it was.
No. Man, he's not assassinated. He went to jail.
I didn't see that
Someone
one.
didn't watch the movie.
No, I didn't see that movie.
Anyways, I think we're about talked out for the day.
Yeah, I'm tired.
So, I hope you learned who we are, what we're about. And I hope you tune in next time for an episode of Inglorious Hasterts. I don't know why he says it when I says
This
it.
has been Brian,
And Eric.
signing off in 5,
4,
3.
2. Later.